welcome to my channel, and this is Stephanie, and this is my top 17 favorite books of 2017. This is so exciting. So 17 books I decided to pick. Do you know how hard that was? I read 55 books last year that I gave 5 stars to. And here are my 17 favorite ones. So let's just start with number 17. Number 17 is going to be The Other Brother by Megan Quinn. And this book was not what I thought it was going to be, but I absolutely adored it by the end and by the author's notes and all sorts of things that go along with this book. This book is about a brother that is separated, obviously the other brother, and he has some issues. If you have read any of Megan's other books about the Binghamton, that group, you would know that this brother is Aaron, and he grew up in the college town. He has some issues. He's the sensitive, sort of sweet one that has this mysteriousness about him, and he was in love with this girl. And then they had this magnificent romance. She moves away. He stays in town to fix himself and get his life together. She goes off and gets her life together, but she has always been, part of the town and everything like that. So she has to come back for some reasons, and they want to have a friendship, but they don't know if they're going to have a friendship. But it's a fun story. It definitely took some twists and turns that I wasn't expecting. And then, as I said, the author's notes really nailed down that meaning and feeling behind this book. The 16th book on this list is The Roommate Disagreement by Letty Harper, and I have fallen in love with Letty Harper this year, and this book is definitely one of the reasons why. This book follows a male character that is looking for a companion, and he just wants a female companion in his house because he lives on this small sort of old money town in Florida and doesn't want the entanglements of a romance. Then you have your female character who is also sort of looking to get away from the side of Florida that she's on, and finds this ad, answers the ad, and they sort of become roommates. And there are some issues, and there are some things that go along with it, and I loved it. It was heartfelt. It's going to twist your heart if you get emotionally connected with it, and I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. A lot. Number 15 is The Unexpected Arrivals by Steffi Walls. Oh my goodness. So this book had me on the edge for a little while because it starts with one part of the story, and you're like bashed in the face with this wow moment, and then you're thrown back into the past to see how it all builds up to this unexpected arrival, and things start to twist, start to turn, start to come together. And maybe I'm an idiot, but I didn't see all that was revealed throughout this book. But yes, I loved it. Loved it. It was so emotional for me. And most definitely the second part of it, after you get past their history, I actually liked and enjoyed all of the characters in the book. Whereas the first part of the book, I was kind of leery about the female character. I was like, I don't know that I like her very much. I mean, I can feel for her, but I don't know that I liked her. But by the end of the book, I was in love with all of the characters. And it's very heartfelt and touching and beautiful. And just yes. All sorts of yes. The 14th book on this list is Third Base by Stella, which happens to be the wonderful partnering of Letty Harper and Steffi Walls. Yes. This book is about a baseball player that has some differences and his best friend, how they get out of a small town, what they go through being a guy-girl best friend partnership, and how they encourage each other, and it's just beautiful. And when I read this book, after I read The Roommate Disagreement and before I read Unexpected Arrivals by Steffi, and throughout this book I was like, what, Letty? I was like, Steffi, don't let Letty influence you. How did she influence? And then I read all three of those books, and after all of it's said and done, I know that they are like author soulmates to co-write. Yes. I will jump and stalk them whenever they decide to write another book under Stella, and yeah. Yes. It's emotional, it's sweet, and it's gonna pull at your heartstrings. It pulled at mine. Yep, sure did. Number 13 is The Darkest Sunrise and the Brightest Sunset by Ali Martinez. I read this book as an ARC in the middle of 2017, and I loved it. Some of the reviews say that it's a little predictable, but to me it wasn't at all. It definitely left my mouth just flown open at the ending of The Darkest Sunrise, and it was just like, ugh. And if you're a parent, you may be emotionally connected to this book just a little bit more than maybe a non-parent or someone not of the age bracket of Porter and Charlotte. Oh, just yes. The 12th book on this list is Fix Me Not, which is Fix number 2 by Carrie Haywood. And this book is about Asher, and I love Asher. He is this loner brother of the Thompson brothers or Thompson family, and he lives in a cabin, and he's a carpenter and works on wood and just is all sorts of yummy. And he has to interact with Paige, who is his housekeeper's daughter. She's sassy, she's independent, and their button of heads is amazing. I loved it, and I loved Asher. I was so excited to get this book, and I'm so happy that I read it, and I loved it. The 11th book of the year is Drive by Kate Stewart. Kate has just opened my mind, and if I could have given her my Best Director award this year, I would have. However, I read her last year, so she didn't qualify for it, but this book, she put life with music and encouraged me to put my life with music and think about all of the things in my past and mish them up with music. It was amazing. I love the book. It's about a music journalist that gets some information when she's traveling home, and she decides to drive instead. Puts on her playlist and starts to reminisce about her past and her journey on how she got to where she was. I loved it. It was beautiful, and yes. In the number 10 spot is going to be Love My Way by Kate Sterrett. This book had me up. Just drew me in. It is about an artist that draws and creates in a special sort of way. It's heartfelt. It's beautiful. I don't really want to talk about it too much because then that would possibly give away some of the parts of the book, and I don't want to do that. But just know that it's going to grab you. It grabbed me, and I loved it. The number 9 book is Silenced by Letty Harper. It was my first book that I read by Letty Harper. It was an arc for me. It's about a young man that witnesses something horrific, and then goes to live with his aunt, and he sees the little girl from next door. But he has decided to not speak, and he doesn't talk. And they grow up together. It's beautiful. It's coming of age. It's more than coming of age, because once you get further into the story, they become adults and they have lives, and it's haunting, and it's just yes, all sorts of yes. And then that cover is amazing as well. In the number 8 slot is A Master of My Body, Finding Sabrina #1 by Marissa Honeycutt. And Marissa has decided to take us back into the crazy, dark, twisted world of the Brotherhood. And I'm so excited. So excited to get back into this world. This book is about Sabrina. You're told that she is a ballerina. She's underage, and she is dancing in an event where Chase, who is a recent West Point graduate, attends. His family sort of puts it on, and his mother is very much into the ballet scene, and just all sorts of yes. All sorts of yes. I mean, it's dark, it's twisted, it's taken me back into the rabbit hole of the Brotherhood, like I said, and if you have read The Life of Anna, you know what the Brotherhood is, and you know what sort of darkness that is. The number 7 book of 2017 for me was Dollface, which is Dollface #1 by Sadie Gruber, and this book is all sorts of dark and crazy and twisted, and just, you shouldn't want to love me and Saint, but you do, and yes. Yes! And I can't wait for these characters to continue to talk to Sadie, because I need to know more about these two characters, about the rest of this world, and all sorts of amazing. The number 6 book on this list is going to be A Steel Heart by Amy Knight. Amy Knight, she likes to put so much honesty and realness and real life, and you can relate to it into her books, that you just, if you have a connection to the military, or if you know anything about authors and bloggers and editors, and yes, just so much yes. I loved this book. Love this book. I mean, I cried myself to sleep one night, and then I woke up to finish the book and cried, and then I went to work, and luckily I didn't have to read it while I was at work, because I would have been all puffy faced, and this book was just all sorts of yes. It's so real, and it's so beautiful, and just, I loved it. It's about a book editor that is really sort of closed off, and she has her things that she does, but she is sort of stalking the guy that lives across the hall from her, who happens to be a vet, and he has his issues, she has her issues, and her lists and things that she has going on with her, and just their combination of being, it was amazing. It was beautiful, and I loved it. Now we're getting to the top 5 books. The ones before this, there really isn't an order of how much I love any of these 17 books, but these are my top 5 for the year of 2017, and they are probably going to be my most memorable books for this year, the ones that have resonated with me throughout all of 2017, or just made a super big impact on me. So the number 5 book is Savage, The Awakening of Lizzie Danton. That is by L.A. Fior, and first of all, this cover is amazing. It just draws you in. Second of all, these two characters, Baroque and Lizzie, they are so dark. They are dark in their independent ways, and they are dark in the things that they had to go through, and just, Lizzie is an artist. Baroque is this mysterious man that is known in his town and his countryside as a monster. He lives in Scotland. She's from the US. She happens to be able to go over to Scotland because she finds out that she inherits some land out there, and that is where their story sort of begins. You learn about their history, and it's magical in a non-fantasy way, and it's just beautiful, and I loved every single moment of it, even though it ripped my heart out. The number 4 book on this list is We Own the Night by Corinne Michaels, and this book just threw me back into, not really threw me back, but it, for one, has my name in it, and that was a big factor for me. It's surreal in a way to see your name as a character in a book, especially if the book is written by an author that you have interacted with on a personal level or have interactions with. So It was really jarring. Not saying that this character was written based on me, because I really hope not, because that would hurt. But seeing my name spelled the same way and, you know, what have you, it was just, it was emotional for me. And then on top of that, your female character, she is a cop in law enforcement, and she decides to let go of her responsibilities for one night and go with her friends to a concert of a former, I guess you could say, boy band, but they're older and they're mature. I don't want to say like which groups we're talking about. We're talking about, like, yeah, I'm gonna say it, like 98 Degrees or the Backstreet Boys or New Kids on the Block or NSYNC getting back together type thing. Yeah. So being able to relate to these characters, because the characters are in the same age range as I fell in love with this book, and I laughed and I fell over just in tears. I was emotionally connected to it. I loved this book. The male character is part of the boy band, and he's an actor, and he's older as well. So this book, I definitely say, is written for the mature reader. And if for some reason you didn't like it, it's probably because you couldn't relate. The number 3 book is Red Lights, Black Hearts by Fabiola Francisco, and this book actually put me into a reading slump for Fabiola for the entire year of 2017. I could not pick up another book by her all of 2017. I tried. It just didn't happen. This book is based about a woman that lives in Amsterdam. She works in the red light district, and she has a John that not really stalks her, but makes an impact on her life. And the journey that she takes is just, it is heart-wrenching, and it's amazing. Plus the cover is pretty amazing, and it draws you in and stuff like that. But this story is just, it has so much meaning to it, and just, I loved it. Loved it. In the number 2 spot is going to be Dear Life by Megan Quinn. And this book I read at the beginning of 2017, but all of 2017, it was like the staple of 2017 for me. The tagline for it is to prove your existence. And so you follow 4 characters in this book that all have tragic and heartfelt things that happen to them. They have to deal with these issues that they're having, and they have to deal with them together. And they're in a support group, which is all about proving your existence. And their stories on how they deal with it was just absolutely amazing. And I thought about this book all year long, and I can't say enough good things about this book. I wish everyone would go out and read this book. In the number 1 spot is actually a series, and if you have watched the end of 2017, you know what's coming. You should know what's coming. And that is the Grip series by Kennedy Ryan. And that includes Flow, Grip, and Still. These books blew my mind, changed my heart, and just thinking about it now makes me emotional. These books are about an interracial couple, social issues that are very relevant to today, social injustices that are going on right now in the world. It's relatable, and Kennedy did her research. She did her research. She put her heart and soul into this series, and I felt every single moment of it, and I connected with this book, and I loved this series. I recommend this series to anyone that wants to be moved and have their eyes open, and it was just absolutely amazing. On a plus side, this is also a person of color that wrote this book, so I know a lot of people are doing the Blackout Challenge for 2018. Go check this series out, because it would definitely qualify. She's a Black author, or African American author, however you want to politically correctly say it, but she is amazing. This series is amazing, and I encourage everyone to go out and read this book series. Ooh, now that I have, sort of put my heart and soul out there for their 2017, those are my 2017 top 17 books. I think you guys should go out and read those books. I recommend those books for all of those reasons that I listed. Emotionally connecting with those books. I look forward to reading more by those authors that I listed and reading new authors in 2018. I hope it's the same with getting great books. And did you read any of those books that I listed down below, or that I listed? Let's comment down below. What did you think of them? I know some of the books I recommended in quite a few of the other videos that I've done this year in 2017. So did you go out and read them, and what did you think of them? Let me know down in the comments so we can discuss. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. I started a Goodreads group and a blog, so please go check those out. Thank you for watching. Happy reading in 2018. Bye-bye 2017. I loved you, and we'll see you guys later.